This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking... Hold on. Tuesday. Yeah, we did music last night. We watched Paramore. Holiday. Clinically. Princess Kimberly. DJ Dub. Welcome in. Holiday. I'm sorry I never dropped by and saw the Honey Badger thing. I've been so fucking busy today. Oh. No, for us, it's a Lori Vallow Daybell Day. We're gonna watch like 30 minutes of her bullshit. That's what I've been excited for all day today. I've been trying to hold off. The Cursor's off work tomorrow, so she'll probably want to go to the weed store. And I've got like... Is much left? You can see my tray. Oh, shit. Not good with... Yeah, not good with hand-eye coordination there. Got this much left. Did not want to walk to the pot store today. I'm totally not high enough for this shit. There's probably like another bowl or two in my grinder. There may even be like another like grinded up some in the bottom I haven't even gotten out yet. I think I'm good. I'll be good. I'll make it through till tomorrow. God, I'm a fiend. I really need to make artwork to promote the 5th anniversary show coming up in less than 2 weeks now. We're less than 2 weeks away from 420. I still don't even know what I'm going to call it yet. Troll Patrol pleads the 5th anniversary, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I wanted to call it the Splith anniversary, but... Warlord, I just saw that he gave comments about the U.S. being able to make iPhones. Also, and I don't know if it's a reputable source, but I saw that if an iPhone was made in the U.S., it would cost $10,000 retail. That sounds off. But also, when you realize how much we exploit the global south and cheap labor, it's possible. I mean, they're already $1,000. So the idea that it would increase the price tenfold isn't that insane, I don't think. That's the price based on not having the factory and tooling. Oh, like they would have to include that price, you know, if they build a new factory from scratch and blah, 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 blah. The price to produce a one-off iPhone. Okay. I still kind of think like it's only 10 times. If they had to make everything here, it being 10 times more doesn't sound that off, though. Here's your meme of the day. Minus the central planning, of course. Suicide nets and all to America. An overturned big rig carrying coconut oil shut down the southbound 110 freeway. Because they'd cut costs somewhere else. If they got to pay more for labor, they'll cut costs for the product. Because of course they will. We're going to talk about Kentucky being underwater following and like literally underwater, not figuratively, like with a budget or something. Literally underwater following the storms that passed through the Midwest. We're going to talk about Israel backtracking from their account of how several Red Crescent workers died because they got caught on video. Netanyahu gives his thoughts on the tariff deal with the U.S. China says it will fight U.S. tariffs. Got slapped with more tariffs today. Kennedy gave an impassioned speech on the floor of the Senate today. A judge has canceled a hearing in the case of a migrant deported to El Salvador because the Supreme Court made it a moot point. Trump's would-be assassin Ryan Roth sought an anti-aircraft weapon to use against Trump, according to DOJ filings. Elon not doing well right now. Apparently rage quitting from a live stream of a video game because he sucks. Several nurses have come forward in Massachusetts, all working on the same floor. They have all been diagnosed with brain tumors. A girl called 911, a young girl called 911 as a break-in was occurring at her house. There was a boat dispute that went viral all over the internet. Smokey, sit down. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to hit you with like 30, 40 minutes of Lori Vallow, Daybell, all that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening, Julie. Welcome in. Anybody else I missed? Flash, my friend. Tier 2. Welcome. So glad to have you. All right, let me get a little more high and then we'll get to the news. Kind of sucks to start with. You don't know what I'm talking about when I say Lori Vallow Daybell. Cicero, good evening. I think I'm getting that right. As I said last night, if she had a podcast, Dave would listen to it over on Echoplex. She got taken in by a doomsday cult, and the cult leader that she's now married to got her to kill her kids. And this is wild because they were like teenage kids. She didn't like drown some babies or something. They were like teenagers. And then I can't remember if she or if the other dude ended up killing her husband. Like, it's an insane fucking story. But she's already been convicted of murder, sentenced to life in prison. Her lover, the Daybell guy that was the cult leader, he's gotten the death penalty. So this is the second case. She's already been convicted of killing the kids. So she's got nothing to lose. She's defending herself in court in the second trial, because it was a different state. Idaho where she killed the kids, but this is in Arizona where she killed the husband. So fucking crazy shit. She gave an interview to the news. We're going to watch the interview. Then we're going to watch her opening arguments from yesterday. I'm stoked. I love this shit. I'm all about it. So let's get high. We'll get the news out of the way. And then I'm as if, her trial isn't news. And then we'll get to the good shit. Tomorrow night is Bernie. Oh, Byronic, good evening. I didn't see you there. Tomorrow night is a Bernie town hall, but it's on CNN. As I said, I'm not too keen on watching it. It would kind of be fun to watch him take questions, maybe, from the people at the town hall. Maybe we'll check in on it because, it's not made for us, right? It's made for normies. We've already heard Bernie's message a million times. But I love the fact that he's on CNN doing it. So go over there, tell all the normies how the rich people are screwing them over. They need to hear it. The people on CNN need to hear the fucking message. And also, I am convinced he's running for president. I know it sounds insane, but oh shit, there was a mass shooting in Fredericksburg? Oh, if we've got a manhunt, that might change things, Cicero. Let's see if we've got a live stream from any of these news stations. Yeah. Ducky, good evening. It only sounds insane because it is. So this was actually Spotsylvania County, Virginia, outside of Fredericksburg. Alien, welcome in. Spotsylvania, I'm sorry. Sorry, DJ Dub.
No, but I definitely see the resemblance.
Yeah, there's no R in it. Yeah, this is just happening like the last hour or so. The first report I'm seeing of it was about 40 minutes ago, so probably happened hour and a half within the last 2 hours. I've never been to Spotsylvania, Virginia, and I've lived in Virginia twice in my life. See if I can get us some reporters I might have. Oh, God, we've also got Trump live right now. Fuck. We'll come back to Manhunt, because Manhunt's the kind of thing I'm in on.
Global auto production producing more than...
We had a mass shooting.
Of all of the cars on Earth, think of that, 75% and even higher before that. Today we produce 11%, while China produces 3 times more than we do. Let me tell you something. With the tariffs that we're doing...
This is at the NRCC. This is live right now.
Aluminum, steel, separate from the other tariffs, the baseline we call it. Companies are pouring back into our country with plants. There's a run on sites. There's a run on old plants. Most of them are being ripped down for new plants. They've stopped building in Mexico, 4 or 5 plants, and they're all coming into the United States. I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And you know what I'm doing, too. That's why you vote for me.
I know what you're doing. You're committing fraud. You're ruining the country to enrich yourself and your buddies.
They're all coming in. We've never had anything like this. We have investment, they think, of about $7 trillion. And that's been in a month and a half. Think of that. For the first, you got to give me a little time to get warmed up with that. So let's take the first couple of weeks off. For about a month and a half, we got almost $7 trillion spoken for. Trillion.
We'll come back to him here in a little bit. Let's get the update on what's going on. This is outside of Fredericksburg, Virginia. 3 dead, 3 in critical condition. There is no suspect apprehended. This was a report from about 30 minutes ago.
5:30, and we want to also tell you,
Tadpole, welcome in.
We're talking about people's family members. We're talking about people's neighbors. And so we want to be very careful about what we show you right now, because this scene is fluid, it is evolving, and there are lives that have been taken tonight, family members who are probably still learning the awful, awful news about what transpired here, the details of which we are still trying to put together. Our Matt Gregory is in the newsroom, though, helping our team to kind of give you a better idea of what's happening.
Yeah, so Matt, what are you learning right now?
I mean, within the last, I would say, 5 minutes or so, video is starting to come in that we're working to confirm, and I want to be very clear about that right now at this point. We have video that we are looking at. We're not going to show you yet because we don't have it confirmed, but in the video it does appear to show 2 men with long guns walking through what looks like, with that road right there, which is Old Greenwich Road, which is where you're seeing that heavy police presence. Now, with talking with officials and speaking with some of our sources on the ground, that area there, Lafayette Boulevard, which is kind of the main thoroughfare on your way to Fredericksburg, that area is where the police have kind of set up their staging and their rescue area along with fire and rescue. Now, when we got this call and we were looking into it, there were multiple ambulances called out within, minutes of this information coming out. We're working to get more information about, like you said, what led up to the shooting, what precipitated, where the suspects are. But as of right now, the sheriff's office saying they do not have any suspects in custody. If you're looking at the video of the chopper, or from our chopper cam, which you can tell is this is a heavily wooded area, right? And this is sort of like a cul-de-sac.
This is not live, but it was about an hour ago.
It's a cul-de-sac area that you can see right here. This is one of the neighbors. This is
less than an hour ago, 7:32.
sort of forest areas to the left and right, wooded areas off to the left of what you're seeing on your screen right there. And you can see, by the way, with the crime scene tape there, kind of the different areas where they focus the investigations. It looks like it's on 3 to 4 different sections of townhouses there. One of the things I wanted to be able to point out to you is that
2 men? Do we have 2 suspects, or do we think that maybe
generally have one unit that's taken over? And when we were working to get this confirmed, we found that Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office, they're the ones who are controlling this investigation. Fredericksburg City Police, they have been called in as backup to help, and the Virginia State Police are also sort of assisting in some manner, but for the most part, this is a Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office investigation. Now, as we've been working to learn more information, we know that many of the folks in this area have been moved back further as the investigation has spread. Now, in a situation like this, generally speaking, one of the things that you're kind of looking at when it comes to this is what witnesses are on the ground. You can see some folks, we're able to get close, but one of the things that we do want to stress is that we're not pushing in further with our Sky 9 camera because our pilot has confirmed to us there are 2 bodies on the ground there. Like I said, this is a very fluid situation.
Oh, wow.
We're learning the details of this as we go through.
My Lord, welcome in.
Information, but like Lorenzo and Leslie were saying, these are people's family members. These are all someone who is a member of a family, of a neighborhood, of a community that has been taken this afternoon. Now, we do know, and I want to reiterate again, 3 people dead so far reported, 3 taken away by ambulance. That's the latest of what we're getting right there, and kind of off to the side on the way out by the...
This is something domestic.
There you can see crews are starting to come in to the area. Forensic.
My Lord, we've got a mass shooting and a manhunt right now. This is happening. It's live.
Other shootings. You're going to have detectives going door to door.
This video isn't live, but 45 minutes ago.
I hadn't confirmed yet, but she sent us video that appears to show her from inside one of these townhomes seeing 2 people who appear to have guns going through the neighborhood. Again, we're not going to show that to you until we confirm it, but I want you to know that's what we're working on. That's what we're seeing back here at the station. We're kind of sifting through, if you will, all sorts of different information as well as different video. And you can see it's a very heavy police presence. Where the actual staging area is, where they're starting to block off and kind of gather, is actually...
I'm trying to see if I can get us a live...
See as the chopper moves and kind of turns the camera around. You see it's quite far.
Live news reporting. I have a live shot, but there's no...
The old Greenwich neighborhood right there. But yeah, this is where everyone has been kind of...
There's no reporting with that live shot. At least last time we checked it, I still have it up.
The logistics on the ground, the strategic moves as this investigation ramps up. Again, I want to report that the Sheriff's Office in Spotsylvania County is reporting 3 people killed in a shooting and 3 victims transported to local hospitals. No suspects apprehended at the time as of right now. And they're asking, as you can see with how far away they are with their staging area, for the public to stay clear of the area. And guys, that's what we're seeing in the newsroom. I'm going to keep making some calls. We're working the assignment desk, especially around the clock, to really make sure we're able to bring you the most accurate information, but also the earliest information you can expect in this investigation. Back to you guys in the studio.
It was in that neighborhood. I don't know if it was in one of those homes. This is the live shot. As I said, that reporting was just minutes ago. It is just turned dark on the East Coast. So what you were seeing just a few minutes ago with the reporting was about 7:35, 7:40. This is less than an hour later. This is the live shot. As far as we know, there is still possibly 2 suspects. We know about these 2 men with guns. That's all we know at this time. Possibly 2 suspects still on the loose. No one has been apprehended. We know that. I'm trying to find one of the local channels that's doing reporting. I'm not sure anybody is live with it right now.
You guys know that where the press staging area is, right? Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you. All right.
So yeah, I'm trying to find one of the stations out of Virginia. That one station out of Roanoke probably doesn't have anybody there because, you know, they sent a reporter one time, got shot in the face. Unfortunately, this is about the only live shot that we have, but we've got several news stations putting up reporting, but I think I've shown you the most recent. Let me see if I can get an article that has something. I don't know that we're going to have any new information yet. The shooting happened about 5:30 p.m., so about 3 hours ago. Go to Fox DC here, see if they've got a live shot. About all the information that we have right now. There is a manhunt, which is what I'm interested in. You would think if there's a manhunt, there would be reporting going on the whole time. Clinically, did I tell you good evening? Markov, welcome. Good evening. We're covering a manhunt after a mass shooting in Virginia. We have 3 people dead, at least 3 people injured and taken to the hospital. No, it was going to be some innocent people in a small little suburb. Of course it wasn't. We couldn't get that lucky. So that's the latest we have. We'll check back in with this shortly. I'll go back to the NRCC where President Pigshit
Make a deal with us. That's what it's going to be.
still speaking.
At some point. China will, they want to make a deal. They really do. They want to make a deal. They just don't know how to get it started. Because they're proud people. China will now pay
T-minus.
a big number to our treasury. This is all taxes. And
A
don't
big
let them
number.
be telling you that this is a tax on our people. I hate that. You know, they say it's a tax. No. Often, much of it is paid. And hey, look what happened during my first term. We had no inflation.
Wrong.
And yet I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. And
I argued with idiot right-wingers about how inflation was a good thing in 2019.
10 cents in tariffs or taxes from China. I got hundreds of billions.
He put tariffs on Canadian lumber and steel.
And I still got along with them because they understood what they were doing was wrong. They understood it.
Case idea. Good evening.
They say, I've had numerous leaders tell me,
he's got the yips.
You're right, sir. I was waiting for you to bring this up. Because some of the trade deals that were made by predecessors as president were so bad, you almost wonder who did these deals. They were either crooked or stupid. There can be nothing else. They were either stupid or crooked. It's terrible, but it's all being changed. I changed a lot of it in the first 4 years, but it's all being changed. You know, in the first 4 years, we had the most successful.
I can't do it. Can't do it. That's about as much as I can take of it right now. Let's go to the actual news. We'll check back in with Trump and the mass shooting here momentarily. But I want to show you video from today in Kentucky where entire towns are underwater. This is just heartbreaking.
Follow all of your major top headlines. Take a look at this, some footage that we got from a little earlier on this afternoon as we're seeing that flooding continues to affect several states. including places in Arkansas, Kentucky, and Tennessee. That's after days of heavy rain swamped neighborhoods and closed roads. The Green River is expected to crest later this week, rivaling historic floods back in 2011.
Later this week.
Joining us now to speak on this is Fox multimedia reporter Oliviana Calmes. She's in Kentucky. And Oliviana, you're near the Green River, so how is it looking by what we're seeing here? Not too great.
Not too great.
That's right. I'm right near the Green River, and it's already above 10 feet more than flood stage, and it's still rising. It'll crest on Thursday here, but we're looking at continuing flood waters rising here, which is a dangerous situation. Behind me is a road. You can't really see that road, but it goes all the way down here to where that stop sign is, and these mobile homes as well. There's just so much water coming up to the sides of the mobile
That trailer is in danger of washing away.
That these homes share, and it almost looks like it's floating with how much
Ponder
water
monkey
is around it. We just saw some boats come through here asking out loud, yelling to see if anyone needed evacuation help here, because not everyone has evacuated. A lot of people are trying to stay in their home as long as they can, but I did talk to one woman who has now gotten out. She said it was hard to prep for this and save all of her items.
I'm scared. I don't want our stuff to get ruined. They say block up everything, but all my blocks are underwater. I mean, you can't. And it's kind of hard to, center block a bunch of stuff out there with a boat, so I'm really nervous. We're definitely going to be leaving here.
Governor Andy Beshear says at least 4 people have died in the floods in Kentucky, and they've made nearly 150 rescues in the state since the storms began. Residents are now grabbing.
Well, it's just normal weather. We've always had storms.
Red Cross has set up a shelter at a nearby church, and they expect more people to come through as conditions worsen.
The water has come up so fast. The people they don't realize that they've got to get out, most of them. A lot of people don't like to leave, or they have.
T-minus, are you saying goodbye California as in you're driving into Arizona?
Water in the county.
Or are you saying goodbye California because it's going to flood and wash away? Thanks to climate change. Or both.
The governor said that teams are heading here to help this area because it's still rising because of the Green River. And today, Kentucky Emergency Management officials said they're going to inspect as soon as possible in the state, make that declaration to get some help in this area and other areas in the state. I'll send it back to you.
Now, Oliviana, I do have a couple of questions because you're following this so closely. The governor also saying that cleanup efforts after the fact.
She's standing in it.
Dangerous as what we're seeing now. Why is that?
That's because when you maybe go into a home in a dangerous way, or you're not making sure what's in that water or taking proper precautions with, like that boat that was just coming through behind here, there's stuff in the water that's dangerous. There's chemicals in the water that's dangerous. And if you're going around barricades on the road.
There's been a lot of seismic activity lately, hasn't there been, my lord?
Don't drown. Be very careful in the cleanup process as well.
And then finally, when it comes to some resources, shelters that some of these community members can go to, what do you know about that?
Well, there's shelters that are built up in the affected areas in Kentucky. And the one I talked to today, they're gathering food and they've got cots ready for people. They say they don't have a whole lot of people that are coming in there yet, but they expected even today to get more people that are asking for help.
All right.
Oh, I mean, that's the people always said it's going to.
Stay safe out there, and we'll talk soon.
Fall off into the ocean. That's always been the word. I wonder if something has gone down. They've taken down the live shot. This was the mass shooting we were following. Or maybe they're just moving because the cops did tell them, like, oh, the staging area is over there, right? Seemed like they were wanting to push them back a little bit. Can I find us a different live shot possibly? Because there's a manhunt going on. That's where I want to be. Let's check back in with President Pig Shit again. Over here at the NRCC.
Hoax. And eventually, now they've all admitted it was a hoax. On to the next one. That's
Hoax, you say? Hoax, you say, Trump? I'm glad you brought up hoax. They admitted it was a hoax. I'm glad Trump said that. They did admit it was a hoax. Israel has had to admit that it was a hoax when they said they opened fire on ambulances that didn't have their lights on, weren't properly marked as Red Crescent, and was acting funny driving towards them. But there's video of it. Yep, everything clearly marked. Emergency lights. Was no accident. For more than 5 minutes. They came up on clearly marked ambulances, emergency vehicles, emergency lights on, aid workers, and fired at them for 5 minutes. You can see the windshield cracks there. They've already been shot, the vehicle that we're riding with. So Israel finally backtracking and saying, oh, well, maybe we were wrong. Nope, you lied. You purposely lied. You purposely attacked a convoy. This is only 19 seconds? CBS only spent 19 seconds talking about this?
Israel's army now admits its soldiers made mistakes over the killing of 15 emergency workers in Gaza. The convoy of ambulances and a fire truck came under fire last month near Rafah. But video contradicted Israeli claims the vehicles did not have emergency lights on when Israeli troops opened fire.
So here, let's go to the BBC, who's actually covering this with, you know, some urgency, as it is an important story. God, our media sucks.
Has admitted its soldiers made mistakes over the killing of 15 emergency workers in Gaza last month, which sparked international outrage. Mobile phone footage that emerged forced Israel to change its account of what caused its troops to open fire on the rescue workers. The Israeli army said the convoy had been...
I don't believe shit Israel says.
...without headlights or flashing lights. A military official has now...
When Israel says something, I automatically assume the opposite.
And a warning, you may find some of the footage.
Oh, we fired on terrorists. No, you fired on women and children.
This video challenges Israel's account of why its soldiers opened fire with such deadly force. It's just before dawn.
And they tried to bury the evidence.
Civil defense workers are answering a call to help the wounded near Rafah. Israel's military first said this convoy advanced suspiciously towards troops with the lights switched off. But you can see, these are marked vehicles and they're wearing reflective uniforms. Then, without warning, this. The shooting continues for more than 5 minutes. The paramedic who's filming says his last prayers. Refat Redwan was one of 15 killed.
His phone was found with his body, and he recorded the whole event. His last words before being shot: "Forgive me, Mom. I just wanted to help people. I wanted to save lives."
The footage only emerged when teams could safely reach this site 7 days later. The bodies were buried along with the vehicles. Regular practice, the army says, to protect them from animals. The UN called this a mass grave.
Yep.
Israel's account was already...
Protect them from animals.
The only paramedic to live through the shooting told us earlier...
The only animals were you. The animals that attacked and killed them. You didn't protect them from animals. You were the animals. Jesus Christ.
The bodies were buried along with the vehicles. Regular practice, the army says, to protect them from animals. The UN called this a mass grave. Israel's account was already in question. The only paramedic to live through the shooting told us earlier this week they had their lights on and it was clear they were medics.
I am the only survivor who saw what happened to my colleagues, and I will expose the crimes committed by the occupation against them.
On Tuesday, Israel's response was in defense of its forces.
The idea
of course,
not randomly attack an ambulance.
No, I agree. I agree. He's right. They didn't randomly attack an ambulance. They knew exactly what they were doing. They attacked an ambulance on purpose. So you're correct. You're with your little weasel words there.
Sunday, several uncoordinated vehicles were identified advancing suspiciously toward IDF troops without headlights.
Now, that narrative's been upended. Tonight, a military official admitted the soldiers were mistaken about the lights and the threat they were under. The army insists 6 of the dead
no, they weren't.
To Hamas, but it
nope.
denies they were executed at close range. The changing story, though, is only increasing the pressure for an independent investigation. This footage lay buried for a week in the Gaza sand. Now it is forcing Israel to give answers and adding to the calls for accountability. Dan Johnson, BBC News in Jerusalem.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will meet Donald Trump at the White House on Monday. He'll be the first...
Yeah, let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about Netanyahu at the White House. Gave a press conference today, I believe. Or just a statement.
We
agree that Iran will not have nuclear weapons. This can be done in agreement. He's speaking to Americans this time, isn't he? When he wants to, he speaks English. He's American. This motherfucker is from Pennsylvania, just so everybody knows. God damn. When he wants to, he speaks English. I'm pretty sure he was speaking to the American press here. We agree that Iran will not have nuclear weapons. This can be done in agreement, but only if this agreement is on the Libyan model, where you go in, blow up the facilities, dismantle all the equipment under American supervision, American execution. I don't trust Americans. The second option is that this won't happen, that they will just drag out the talks, and then the option is military. Everyone understands that. We discussed this at length. We spoke about President Trump's vision. They're attacking Iran. They're totally going to attack Iran. What, summertime? Fall? They'll do it in the fall when new TV season starts and people are going back to school and everything. Or, I mean, if they follow the George W. Bush model, you sell it in the fall and introduce the new product in the spring. That's what they did with Iraq. But I don't even think we're there anymore. I don't think they care. Because we are currently in contact with countries that are talking about the possibility of taking in a great many Gazans. And that is important because in the end, that is what needs to happen. The third issue, Turkey. Turkey wants to establish military bases in Syria, and this is a danger to Israel. We oppose it. We are working against it. I told President Trump, who is my friend, also a friend of Erdogan, if we need your help, we will talk about it. President Trump asked countries to reduce their trade deficit with the U.S. to zero. I told him, it's not that hard for us, we'll do it. It's the least we can do for the United States and its president who has done so much for us. Terry, Lenny, welcome in. Good evening. Okay, we're going live to
IZABE.
This is a press conference.
OTT with the Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office.
It's outside of Fredericksburg, Virginia. We just had a mass shooting.
At this point, we received a call, multiple calls at 5:30 p.m. from the area of Old Greenwich Circle, which is in Spotsylvania County, in reference to multiple shots that were fired. Upon deputies' arrival, they found multiple gunshot victims. 3 of the victims were confirmed deceased on scene. 3 other victims were transported to local hospitals. It is still a very fluid scene. Multiple investigators are still there trying to determine who the suspects were and what the motive is. At this point in time, I don't know that we have any suspects in custody. So we're asking the public to please stay clear of the area, let the investigators do their job, and stay inside their homes.
Is this still considered an active shooter situation?
At this point, because we do not have anybody in custody, it is still considered an active shooter situation.
About how many suspects are we looking for tonight?
We don't know.
Any idea how many shots were fired and if the victims were the intended targets?
At this point, we don't know how many shots were fired. It would be factual to say multiple shots were fired.
The conditions of the people who were brought to the hospital, do you know them, and do you know the ages of anyone?
We don't know the ages at this point. I will likely put that out tomorrow morning once we gather additional information and once the next of kin have all been notified.
Can you confirm one of the victims are a juvenile? That's what we're hearing from a family member on the scene.
I don't know. I can't confirm.
One of the victims is what?
What do we know about the victims as far as sex or gender, anything?
I do not know. This is where I've been. I haven't been to the crime scene to gather additional information.
At the scene, we noticed a number of deputies, detectives with their weapons drawn going into a wooded area. What do you know about that? Obviously, it's a search investigation, but is there anything that maybe was shared why they went into that direction?
We do have drones up in the air. They may have seen people in the woods, residents coming out. It is an active shooter situation, so we are going to be actively looking for an armed subject or subjects.
And what's your message to the community as they're going to bed tonight, knowing that there's a suspect still out there, at least one suspect still out there responsible for 3 deaths and 3 others in the hospital?
Well, we have nearly all of our detectives out right now looking for the suspects, and we will stay looking for these suspects. We have multiple other agencies assisting with us. The city.
She's saying suspects.
Department is also assisting, as well as Virginia State Police.
But we don't know. There's apparently a video circulating. 2 men with guns.
If everyone involved leave over there, because you see family over there like 2 cars. You see 2 cars with bullet holes over there. Can we say if they are neighbors or something like that?
I cannot confirm if they live in the area or they drove to the area. We don't know that at this point.
Major, have you been briefed on the 2 men they jumped out on and put into custody and detained in Thur?
I did hear radio traffic that subjects were detained. I don't know that they're suspects. We're trying to speak to anybody and everybody that was in the area. So I haven't been back to the scene to corroborate any of that.
Can you say what's happening down the block there? That looks like a command center at the Sheets.
Yes, at the Sheets, behind the Sheets is our command post.
I mean, if you're going to have a command post anywhere, have it at the Sheets.
We will be there as long as our detectives are on scene.
And Major, as it relates to those 3 people detained, can you confirm that it was connected to the shooting in some way, whether they're suspects or not?
I do not know. I cannot confirm that.
And Major, I know in the last interview that you did, you mentioned how much of a stressful 24 hours this has been. Could you just reiterate that, and just having all your resources kind of in this area trying to find the
news out of spot. Look at the cameras.
Sure. Spotsylvania County has had several incidents over the past 24 hours that were gun related. We take these extremely seriously, and I mean, this is probably as bad as it could get, with at least 6 people being shot right now. It's been a stressful 24 hours.
Did you say anything about the conditions of the people in the hospital right now? Are they expected to live?
I don't know the conditions of the subjects in the hospital right now.
Is there a chance that those people detained are your suspects?
It could be a chance, but I do not want to speculate without going back to the command post.
And you can confirm, was it 2 or 3 people who were detained, whether it's related or not?
I don't know. I think it was 2, but again, I'm getting a lot of this information from the crews that were on scene that saw subjects detained.
So right now, are you not comfortable we should not connect the 2 at all?
No, I would not speculate to connect the 2 people that were detained with this crime until we can put out further information tomorrow morning.
What time do you expect? Early morning? Put more information out?
Apparently, a couple of the victims were children.
I'm out tonight.
A source has also indicated that the shooting wasn't related to a domestic incident.
That were confirmed shot.
So you're saying there could be more who were injured?
There could be more. Our detectives are still out, canvassing the area.
Thank you very much. Anything we didn't ask you, anything else?
No. You guys have given me more information than I know, so.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, we've got no other info.
Get that off.
This was the latest reporting. This is live currently.
Thank you for your constant updates and keeping us informed.
And again, I hope
It's just another day.
Okay. Thank you so much.
He's still going.
But the windmills aren't blowing. We're going to give
something's blowing
confidence to do what they have to do long into the future, because coal is going to be a big factor in our country now. You know, it does give us our electricity, because there's nothing like coal and
Bobus, welcome in. Fleabag, what's up?
It's going to be clean, beautiful.
I thought you got all upset and cried and left last night, Fleabag.
Clean and beautiful.
Good to have you back, my friend.
And by the way, they've made tremendous progress with also coal in terms of clean coal. But the coal mine is standing alongside of me this afternoon.
My dad totally had black lung.
They were a beautiful sight to behold. These are really great Americans.
Wasn't a coal miner, but was a truck driver.
Guys, I didn't want to have any arm wrestling contests with any of them, I can tell you that. They're good, strong guys. That's what they want to do. They love to dig coal. That's what they want to do. They don't want to do gadgets and widgets and wadgets. They don't want to build cell phones with their hands, their big, strong hands.
Nobody wants to work in the coal mines.
Hillary Clinton went to West Virginia.
Hold on, you gigantic piece of shit. I am from the coal fields. The saying was always, my grandfather worked in the coal mines, so I wouldn't have to. Nobody willingly wants to go and work in the dangerous goddamn coal mines for your stupid ass.
He thinks, we're going to teach them. And then she went to West Virginia. She was in the campaign, and she had to go there.
He's talking about Hillary.
It was memorable. It was one of the worst. Did they go after her? And one of the miners said, I don't want to do anything else but dig coal. I want to dig coal. They said it today. That's what they love. They love doing it. It's like that in a lot of industries. People love doing what they're doing. They want to dig coal. That's what they want. They don't mind going deep in earth. They feel comfortable there. Me, I could do without it. But they feel comfortable. They're incredible people, actually. Hard-working, incredible people.
How long before he says the kids long for the mines?
We've also begun the largest deregulation campaign in history. For every one new regulation, I have directed that 10 old regulations must be eliminated before the first one can go into effect.
They stopped saying clean coal. That technology never came.
Bring back the hostages.
That was all the rage 20 years ago.
Brought a lot of them back already, but what a sad situation that is. What a sad situation that is. That would have never happened if I were president. October 7th would have never happened. And I said Russia-Ukraine would have never happened. All this stuff, inflation would have never happened. Afghanistan disaster would have never happened.
He said,
most embarrassing.
He said if Kamala got elected, the stock market would crash within 3 days.
Where they could leave, but I was going to keep Bagram, the air base, one of the biggest in the world. I was going to keep it, not for Afghanistan, because it's 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. Wouldn't it be nice to have it? You know who occupies it now? China. occupies it now. Can you believe how stupid this guy was? On top of that, they get blown up at the airport, leaving the wrong airport. They didn't leave from Bagram. They left from a local little airport, which was crowded and like crazy with the people from the towns and cities. And the bomb went off and...
Oh, that would not surprise me at all, Flash. But he brought up China. Let's talk about China, shall we? China says it's going to fight back. Trump slapping them with more tariffs today. Tariff turmoil. What a heading.
What the requirement is, and this is where I believe the president...
It had a little tugboat in the background. You guys see that? Or hear it?
What the requirement is, and this is where I believe the president has...
That's hilarious.
...constructed and actually exploited this authority, is not communicated to us, nor these interest groups that are now panicked over the effect of tariffs. So
Washington's U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell responding to a U.S. trade representative during a Senate Finance Committee hearing today. We are now less than 24 hours away from the Trump administration's new reciprocal tariffs taking effect. And that does include another new retaliatory tariff on China. Erica Brown has the latest from Capitol Hill, where the Trump administration says the president's strategy is already working.
With less than a day before President Trump's reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries are set to take effect, the White House says he's open to negotiating with trade partners.
To countries around the world, bring us your best offers, and he will listen.
The Trump administration also says a 104% retaliatory tariff against China will take effect at midnight, making good on the president's threat to punish Beijing unless it withdraws retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. China responded, saying it will, quote, fight to the end.
Countries like China, who have chosen to retaliate and try to double down on their mistreatment of American workers, are making a mistake.
Here on Capitol Hill, President Trump's trade chief defended the administration's sweeping tariffs during a Senate hearing as lawmakers pressed him on the impact.
The president's strategy is already bearing fruit. Nearly 50 countries have approached me personally to discuss the president's new policy and explore how to achieve.
Have approached him personally. He also has a girlfriend in Canada.
Reciprocity.
U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer told senators that negotiations to lower the reciprocal tariffs will be on a country-by-country basis. Lawmakers on both sides expressed skepticism.
Trump's tariffs will push millions of workers out of jobs and push prices up at the same time.
Whose throat do I get to choke if this proves to be wrong?
Some businesses see the positive. In Mississippi, shrimpers say tariffs on imported seafood can help level the playing field.
It's coming from countries that don't have minimum wages. It's driven our price so far down that a lot of the shrimpers can't even go out and work.
According to the Southern Shrimp Alliance, tariffs have pushed imported shrimp prices up 50 cents per pound. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Fleabag, who do you think sent all your jobs and your products overseas? Who do you think did that? Like, I've had so many arguments with dipshit right-wingers. They're like, the government and unions, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, capitalists sent your job to China. Capitalists decided it was cheaper to make things elsewhere. Brother, Bill Clinton didn't offshore jobs. Capitalists did. I just you guys don't know how anything works, and it's kind of annoying. It makes no fucking sense that you want to have opinions on shit you know nothing about. The judge who had told the Trump administration they had to have a migrant back in the country by last night has canceled any future hearings because, they're pointless now.
Attorneys for the Maryland man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador last month are calling on the federal government to bring him back to the United States. In a new filing, Kilmar Abrego Garcia's lawyers said, quote, the United States has never claimed that it is powerless to correct its error, and before today, it did not contend that doing so would cause any harm. That's because the only one harmed by the current state of affairs is Abrego Garcia. Now, the filing is in response to the Supreme Court's decision.
What? Now they're just being brazen. Oh, that's the attorney. Oh, yeah, Garcia's saying that. Okay. I thought it was the United States arguing that. And I was like, God damn. Yeah, Fleabag, do you know how... Motherfucker, do you want to know how our country ended up in decline? I can show you. Since you want to keep fucking running your goddamn cocksucker. Oh, my God, I just happen to have a series of graphs. Here's incarcerated Americans. Reagan did that. Here's life expectancy versus healthcare spending. That's where Reagan came into office. Here's percent increases since 1970 in the annual cost to attend universities in Illinois, the median household income in Illinois versus the minimum wage in Illinois. Reagan did that. Notice how all those lines are together. Reagan comes in and boop. Here is federal debt, the total public debt as a percent of gross domestic product. Look how low it was in 1980. Huh. Interesting. Here's United States debt in 2014, dollars, and as a percent of GDP. Notice how the line's inverse. Holy fuck. And where Reagan took office. Total at the top marginal tax rate from 1966 to 2014. To be clear, it is both parties, but the response to Reagan is the reason why the Democrats are the way they are now. That's why you got Bill Clinton. I'm a third way Democrat. I'm socially liberal and fiscally conservative. That's why that happened, because the Democrats got scared the fuck of losing and jumped on the neoliberal train. They sold out the workers, and you see the results. I don't know what you're laughing at, dipshit. This is what I call right-wingers morons. Just showed you the fucking data as clear as goddamn day. Every single Republican in my lifetime has wrecked the economy. Every single Democrat has presided over record GDP growth and record low unemployment. Every single one of them. It's insane. And people still say that somehow Democrats aren't better for the economy. And we're seeing it again. Republicans don't know what the fuck they're doing. Wrecking the goddamn economy. Trump is doing it. You would think he was purposely trying to do it. And that's why I keep hearing economists say, and I'm like, yeah, because he's purposely doing it. He's rigging it in favor of his friends. Motherfucker, Fleabag. And that's exactly why they do this. You dumb motherfucker. They got you fighting a culture war so you don't fight the class war. They're robbing you blind and telling you somehow trans people are a problem to you. You stupid fuck. Because we got a bunch of repressed dipshits around here like Fleabag that jack off to trans porn and then feel bad about it, so they got to lash out at the rest of us. And then Fox News gets to take advantage of that shit and feature all dumb shit about how trans people are a threat to you. Meanwhile, fucking 1,000 pastors are arrested every year for molesting children, and you goddamn fucks don't say a peep. You don't care. You bow at their altar. Literally bow at their altar. I just want you to not be a dumb fuck, my friend. Like, it's okay to be a shit talker. It's okay. Like, we do it all the time. We like kicking authority in the balls around here, my friend.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
You can be a shit talker. You can have fun. You can make jokes about people and shit on other people. We do it all the time here. But be educated, man. Seriously. Don't come in here and say the dumbest fucking shit and think somebody should take you seriously. If you think trans people are somehow a problem, like seriously, you've probably never even met a trans person in your life, but somehow you thought that was an intelligent retort to me, really? Like, get a life, loser. Let's check back in at the NRCC. This is Trump Live. I believe we have a couple of Israeli citizens.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll get them back. Be careful. It's incredible what they've been forced to live with for 450, 500 days. Incredible. Nobody in this room could really understand it. I found it hard to understand. But will not.
Incredible what the people of Gaza have had to live with for, what, 50 years now?
The right way. We want to get those 24 out really fast. And we're working on it very hard.
They could have already been out. Israel violated the ceasefire, remember?
During the past administration. On day one,
Man, if only things had happened a little different. If only our boy Ryan Ruth over here had been able to get a hold of that anti-aircraft gun that he wanted. Ryan Ruth sought anti-aircraft weapon to use in Trump assassination. This is according to the DOJ. Ruth, the man behind a plot to kill President Donald Trump, allegedly sought out an anti-aircraft weapon for use in his September plan to assassinate President Donald Trump, according to a new filing from the Department of Justice. Secret Service agents found Ruth hiding with a rifle at President Donald Trump's Florida golf course. The agents caught Ruth, and the then Republican nominee Trump was not harmed in the incident. A Monday filing entered new evidence in the case against Ruth, alleging he sought a rocket launcher to use against Trump. Send me an RPG or stinger, and I will see what we can. He's just texting. He's just texting people. Send me an RPG. Send me an RPG or stinger, and I will see that we can do. Ruth allegedly texted an individual he believed to be a Ukrainian arms dealer. Trump is not good for Ukraine. I need equipment so that Trump cannot get elected, Ruth allegedly added. The DOJ described the message as a substantial step in Ruth's plan to kill Trump. Attempting to purchase a destructive device to blow up President Trump's airplane lies squarely within the realm of an attempt on his life. And Ruth's statements, I hope he's like Lori Vallow and he defends himself in court, but it's going to be federal court, so we won't get to watch it like Lori. That's the sad part. Ruth's statements about the purpose of the purchase, that he needs equipment so that Trump cannot get elected, drives home his intent. Ruth, according to the filing, had prior felony convictions for possessing a weapon of mass destruction. This, prosecutors wrote, proves Ruth had the ability to execute his plan. The WMD what was the WMD? The WMD conviction not only shows Ruth's comfort with devices that may cause death or grave injury, but also shows that he was indeed capable of intending to do the extraordinary, the document reads. A prior conviction for possessing a weapon of mass death and destruction as dynamite would. So he had dynamite. That's what we're calling a WMD now. I'm imagining it like sticks of dynamite from a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. Supports the idea that he was perfectly fine with the idea of committing an act of extreme violence in public, causing massive public consequences. Casey, welcome in. War Machine. Silence. Who else snuck in here on me? Good evening, friends. Dynamite. He's still droning on. Battle Opossum.
They're the ones that back down. They're the ones that have lost their confidence. They're no good anymore. I saw politicians.
Is it just sticks of dynamite? I think they have other kinds of explosives, don't they?
Politicians anymore. They've lost their confidence.
I don't know that they make sticks of dynamite anymore.
But they can get their confidence back, so you can't rely on that too much, I guess. Together we're liberating our country, reclaiming our wealth, unleashing our energy, protecting our children, rebuilding our military.
There are still boxes of dynamite.
Deporting the criminals.
Learn something new every day. Anonymously, welcome in.
And unlocking what history will know as the golden age of...
'Cause I'm TNT. I'm dynamite. TNT. I put up a fight. Finvox. To be clear, I am a huge, huge AC/DC fan. When Bon Scott was their singer. Like, they are right after that, but they were like groundbreaking when Bon Scott was their singer. We're all terrorists now. Elon Musk quits live stream after a gamer trolling. Oh, Ponder Monkey. I don't really drink. I'm having... This is some kind of Gatorade shit they accidentally put in my Instacart one time. It's all right. Just because I didn't feel like making tea before the show, but let me pack another bowl. I'll get there with you. That's one of my favorite songs, Globus. Me too. I fucking love it. I'm telling you, Bon Scott is the shit. When I was a kid, maybe 8th grade or something like that, they came out with like a Bonfire. It's like a three or four disc set. I don't even remember how many discs it was now. Bon Scott, I got that shit. I fucking loved it. Ate it up. Yeah, Holiday knows what I'm talking about. Was Elon on Twitch? No, it was on X. It was on X. I already looked at it. I know now. He's too big of a pussy to be on Twitch. Does he listen to music? Yeah, probably. All right, what game is he playing? Do you guys know what this is? PO2? Is that an acronym I don't understand? Path of Exile, okay. The SpaceX CEO was testing the capabilities of his satellite system Starlink and closed down his stream of Path of Exile 2 after being defeated by the bloated Miller. I don't know what that means, but it's funny. Newsweek contacted Musk via Twitter's press office to comment outside of normal office hours on Tuesday. Elon Musk has increasingly become a target of backlash over his prominent role in the Trump administration. Tesla's boss's popularity with his fellow gamers has suffered over accusations he has lied about his abilities. He has a very highly ranked account for Path of Exiles 2. However, observers of his gaming live streams have suggested his abilities do not match. So you want to watch him? We're like really into this boss fight here. We still got music playing. I'd like to hear the... That might be the game's music. I can play that. So let's watch him get beat. Oh god, there's still like a lot of this to go. Is he still in the boss fight? Does somebody know anything about this? Tell me what's going on. Is he ignoring people in chat? Like he just clicked ignore on somebody, didn't he? I have no idea.
A lot of things. Everyone says a lot of things. don't spam the chat.
Path of Exile. That's the name of it.
That's just somebody who wants attention.
Well, they said he got beat in a boss fight, but he was in a boss fight a few minutes ago. Two even. Yeah, this is the one where he claimed to be the 7th best in the world or some shit. He's totally not. We should be coming up on the rate. Oh, it's still another 5 minutes. Sorry. Oh, this is the Bloated Miller. This is the boss fight. Here we go. Why is he just running? Is there not dodges? Which, I mean, I'm used to more like a first-person view instead of an overhead game. I guess it's not so much about timing and dodge attacks, is it? Was he playing on an airplane? Is that what he's on a jet or something, isn't he? Oh, I saw him multiple times ignore people in the chat. So he very, very thin-skinned man. Yeah, something that takes some real skill.
Oh, lost connection.
Oh, don't tell me you just lost connection. Come on, you died, didn't you?
Connection lost.
Yeah, that was him rage quitting. He said it was his connection lost, but I don't think it was. I've never even played Diablo. It's overhead like that, isn't it? All right, we're going to get into the crime and other kind of shit section of the show. Yeah, I'm like an action-adventure RPG from like a first-person or a third-person view. Yeah, sure you do, Fleapack. Oh, shit. Several nurses from the same floor at a Massachusetts hospital diagnosed with brain tumors. Interesting. Massachusetts hospital said their facility is not posing an environmental risk after 5 nurses reportedly developed brain tumors after previously working in the same area of the building. 11 nurses at Mass General Brigham Newton Wesley Hospital came forward late last year with brain tumor diagnosis. According to the outlet, they worked in the hospital's labor and delivery department. 5 cases were various types of benign tumors, and 6 cases were other health concerns. It's not known what caused the brain tumors in the nurses. The hospital put out a statement saying they launched an extensive investigation into the matter, along with the Department of Occupational Health and Safety. The investigation found no environmental risks which could be linked to the development of a brain tumor. Now, it could just be a wild coincidence in the fact that they are in Cancer Alley. Oh, wait a minute, this is Massachusetts. I thought it was Pennsylvania. Hold on. Massachusetts, a little bit north of Cancer Alley. Investigation found no environmental risk. We presented these findings to relevant stakeholder groups, including the staff on the unit and the Massachusetts Nursing Association, and have held forums to meet with clinical and outpatient occupational health leaders to answer their questions. The hospital provided the MNA with the test results from the investigation, including those of several external environmental firms. The statement continued, adding the health and well-being of our staff, clinicians, and patients is our absolute top priority. That is a very odd occurrence. I think this happened in California. Girl of the Gray, welcome in. War Machine, I tell you good evening. Bobby, you can't cope apparently. Battle Opossum, my friend. Anybody else sneak in here on me? Samson, what's going on? We're going out to California where a young girl called 911 as a burglar broke into her home.
Now at 3:30, police in Westminster are praising a brave 9-year-old girl who called 911 as a burglar was smashing his way into her home. The girl very calmly told the 911 operator what was happening, and police were quickly dispatched to the home.
KTLA 5's Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost is live now in Westminster with the details. Chip?
Yeah, hello there. Yeah, police very impressed with how this 9-year-old girl handled herself as she called 911.
I tried to get you a Maynard. You ran.
Her house. It happened in a neighborhood here near Magnolia and Bolsa. Westminster police tell us it happened Friday morning, a little bit before 6 o'clock. They say they got a 911 call that a break-in was in progress in this neighborhood. Police say a man had busted a window on the
Flee, now is the safest time to be alive ever. Safest time to be alive ever. Crime rates in the 70s were through the fucking roof.
First floor of a home and broke into the house. While he was breaking into the house, the little girl
Kevin James wishes he looks like me.
911 and gave a detailed description to the dispatcher about what was happening. While she was doing that, her father was on the first floor trying to fight the intruder off with pepper spray. We're told he was eventually able to drag the intruder out of the house. We'll have more on what happened to him in a moment. First, let's take a listen to some of that 911 call.
911 emergency, police or paramedics.
There's someone breaking my house.
What address are you at?
Oh, sorry. My whole family's downstairs.
How are they trying to get in?
They broke the window already.
Hey, how old are you?
9. Mom and Dad are downstairs.
Okay, so your house is a 2-story. So your family is downstairs and you're upstairs?
Yes, do something. We have bars in the window too, so I don't... I have kids in the house too. Yes, I push them outside. Yes. She's running around outside.
Okay, baby, I'm going to hang up with you. Your sister's talking to my partner. We have officers arriving on scene, okay?
Okay.
Okay, honey. All right. Good job, okay?
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Police say they arrived within about 3 minutes of the first 911 call, and they found the alleged intruder, identified as 34-year-old Jorge Diaz, hiding in a neighbor's backyard. Meanwhile, the Westminster police chief already seems to be recruiting that 9-year-old girl, saying she is welcome to join the department when she grows up, if that's what she so chooses, either as
ACAB means that 9-year-old girl too, if she so chooses to join the department when she grows up.
Reporting in Westminster, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
Looking for...
Oh, goddamn. Oh, Bobby, just because it triggers you, you're getting timed out again. Like, sometimes I don't ban or time anybody out. I actually get onto the chat for doing it to people, but because I know it's going to trigger you, you get timed out again. I'll just keep timing you out. Oh, shit. Enjoy it. I hope you stay and watch the show, though. I do a really good show. Much better than your friend. That's probably why you guys keep coming over here. It's way more entertaining than your fucking friend is. Ah ha ha! Over the weekend, this video of a dispute between two boaters. They're calling it a boat rage attack. This went viral on the internet.
Now, we did get that news conference coming in from Punta Gorda Police. That was held just about an hour ago, and it just came into our Live Now from Fox newsroom. However, before we get to that, I do want to play the portion of this video that has gone viral.
Bro, you shouldn't come flying through the middle of the bridge. You know people fish here, bro. I'm sorry, man. I don't know if that's what you want to hear, bro.
Yeah, you should apologize.
But, bro.
More than you can possibly fathom in your life.
Me too, bro. I'm out here all the time, bro.
I'm 300.
I have so met this guy. I've been on the water more than you can possibly fathom. I think a few of them were in the fucking panel the other night on Dumbfuck's channel.
100 days a year on the water.
All right,
Every
bro.
day, I'm the best charter captain you will ever meet in your mother.
All right, bro.
Cuss me out.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Please, bro. Please, okay, please, bro. Please, bro. Please, bro. Bro, I'm a kid, bro. Please.
Apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
What the fuck?
All right, bro.
In the middle of the
No, bro. Please, bro. Please, bro.
my boat.
Okay. Please.
Apologize.
I'm sorry, bro. That was not me, bro.
Yes, it was,
I
brother.
know I was here, but my buddy was on the
Take me
boat.
back to my
Sir,
boat.
I'm a kid, bro. Please,
I
bro.
don't care. You don't cuss me
Yes,
out.
all right.
You can't do that in America. He's lucky the kid didn't have a
I
gun.
wasn't like cussing you out,
Yes,
though, bro.
you were, dude.
I was driving the boat.
Did
Okay.
you not call me a
No, bro.
Yes,
that
you
was
did,
that was
motherfucker.
my friend on the. Okay, I'm sorry, bro.
That was your friend on the boat.
I'm sorry, bro.
I'll look at it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do it again and watch what.
His friends should be embarrassed for not fucking calming him down.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I appreciate y'all, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
All right, so that was the
No, that super male vitality.
viral. It has been viewed hundreds, thousands of times at this point. Now, police over in Punta Gorda, Florida, holding a fairly brief news conference about an hour ago, and I do want to play that for you right here on Live Now from Fox.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Chief Pam Smith, PAM.
Well, that's the first part of this here, and then I'll give you the update.
Police Department. I also have with me MPO AJ Russell, our Marine officer.
Well, we didn't see it flee, but like he tried to drive away before he could get on the boat. Dude must have like fucking jumped.
And FWC PIO Brad Johnson here today. We're here today to address an incident that took place on our waterways on April 1st, 2025, under the Gilchrist Bridge. It ultimately led to the arrest of Brock Horner. I want to make it clear.
Of course his name is Brock.
The department takes public safety very seriously, and incidents like this will be investigated and somebody will be charged, as happened in this case. Our Marine unit, MPO Russell and PFC Jesse Richards, have investigated this incident.
Yeah, Samson, this is why comedy is dead. This is why I had to go to do a show like this, because this is the only thing you can do is just like play videos of people and make jokes about it.
Video of a Charlotte County charter boat
Brock Horner
rage has now gotten tens of millions of views on social media, and that video has now landed him in jail.
Bro, you ran right through the middle of the bridge while we were all fishing.
In the middle of the night, the guy didn't have any lights on. We're all war veterans. We're all raised.
Well, right,
Every
bro.
day, I'm the best charter captain you will ever meet in your.
All right.
I know a guy exactly like this.
That captain, Brock Horner, jumped
Also a military vet.
Toll's boat and threatened him and even grabbed his shirt. The Florida Angler Group
Dude almost punched me one time. We were like, I don't even remember what it was. He was going off on some, fucking sports or whatever. And I was like, Ronda Rousey could take you, right? And this dude's like, he's like 6'6", 6'7", and he gets fucking incensed exactly like that. And he's like, no, she couldn't. I'd beat her ass. Oh, and I'm like, brother, Like, she's a trained fighter. She would take you. It's all about the fucking skill. It has nothing to do with how big you are. She would take you.
Posted an open letter urging FWC
Put you in that arm bar.
President Trump to revoke his license.
The video is kind of outrageous. I mean, you know, we're recreational boaters. I'm not a fisherman, but, you know, usually everybody's pretty laid back on the water. People usually aren't that uptight.
Horner's attorney released a statement saying Horner is deeply...
Good job, Flash.
...is a war veteran that suffers from traumatic brain injuries.
Oh, clearly.
Handle it. You could either come about it like you're hard and you own everything like he did.
You know, that's one thing. That's one thing. If you got some traumatic brain injuries, his friends should have been taking care of him in that case. They know. They know. He can't claim, oh, I've got traumatic brain injuries.
Sorry, and is a war veteran that suffers from traumatic brain injuries.
It's definitely how you handle it. You could either come about it like you're hard and you own everything like he did, or you could come about it like you're in the wrong, this, that, and then fix each other, and that's it.
Well, that boat captain that jumped onto the other fisherman's boat in that viral video, as we know, is Captain Brock Horner. Now, since this video has seriously gone viral,
Captain Brock Horner.
He's been arrested for burglary and assault. Punta Gorda Police Department said in a joint release with United States Coast Guard as well as FWC that the video was actually the second incident between these two boaters. So police say on March 30th, Horner was speeding under the Barron Collier Bridge and nearly hit Gage Towell's boat at 5 in the morning. Now, this viral video happened 2 days later on April 1st, when the pair, they recognized each other from that previous encounter. Now, Gage told police he was so scared after Horner jumped onto his boat that he considered jumping off. Other boaters say this disagreement, well, it should have just never even gotten to this point.
It shows you how people's temper can take advantage of them and destroy their whole reputation. I kind of think he deserves that. If you would have just yelled at him and not got on his boat, it would have been fine if he didn't get charged. But I think since he got on his boat and did all that stupid stuff, he kind of deserves that.
In that video, Horner did say that the other people on the boat were calling his names. Well, Horner he did bind out of jail yesterday. His attorney says they're not available for any comment right now.
I bet. Yes, his friends are acting like, oh, there he goes again. That's just Brock. So this happens all the fucking time. He loses his cool at any little thing. All right. It is now time for our main event of the evening. I need to take a little tinkle. When we come back, we're going to cover the story of Lori Vallow Daybell. She was taken in by a cult. She killed both her kids. Her and her cult leader husband, or now husband, I think she married him while they were imprisoned or some shit. It's a fucking insane story. She's already been convicted for killing her kids. She is representing herself in court in Arizona for the murder of her husband. We're going to watch her opening arguments that happened yesterday. She gave an interview to the news station over the weekend. We're going to watch that. It's going to be a lot of fun right after this break. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked, sick aesthetic.
Not high enough for this shit.
I guess I gotta thank Matt Walsh for introducing me to JustinFREAKIN.
Hey there, y'all. We're about to get stupid, locked into what that news beat doing. Fu Manchu and a slick bandana, colder than ice, smoother than Santana. Audio, video, chat and calls. Right-wing nut jobs haunt the halls. What you wanna watch? Hey, what you think? And there's only one choice. It's JustinFREAKIN.
The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the call.
Light one up and tip one back. It's a right to be high. Let's grab a snack. It's fucking news, quick panic, attack, and play your cards right and get a titty slap. Jump in Discords, have some fun. The man will talk to everyone. Get high and try to debate. When shit pops off, chat thinks it's great. What do you think you're doing? Join the troll patrol. Wherever discourse is brewing, he gives it that southern drawl.
Justin. Hey, Justin, how's it going, brother?
First of all, I want to say you're poser South. I'm in Alabama. I'm the real South.
Okay, all right. So why don't you tell us what it takes to be a man?
Well, I don't know. I'm in Alabama and I'll fuck a man in a dress. Why won't you fuck a man in a dress? Are you that insecure that you won't fuck a man in a dress?
That's fantastic. So you're okay with that, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
Good.
Right-wingers are morons.
Like one it and hit one back. One more click where we hit the set an alert when that shit goes live. Social fucking support and hit subscribe. Light one up and take a hit. He does no harm, but it takes no shit. He's the last one standing when the ship is sinking. Let's take another rip for JustinFREAKIN.
Light one up, tip one back. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
Not high enough for this shit.
You heard the lady. Light one up, tip one back. Live Genesis, what's going on, my friend? You smoking with us? You got your doobie, you got your bowl, you got your bong. Drew Fat Stacks. Hell yeah, do you dab, my friend. We're getting ready to watch a woman defend herself in court on murder charges, and it's gonna be awesome. So let me give you the rundown. We'll do the Inside Edition little 2-minute, give you the lowdown on what's going on, and then we'll watch her opening statements. We'll watch her interview to the local news station. Little dab will do you.
Lori Vallow Daybell is back in front of a new jury today, and this time she's acting as her own lawyer. Her trial kicked off before a jury in Phoenix, and there was the notorious convicted killer in a black jacket and puffy-sleeved blouse.
I'm not an attorney. I do not have training to be an attorney.
In an interview with KPHO-TV, she says she decided to represent herself because nobody knows the case better than she does.
How do you expect this is going to work for you, acting as your own lawyer?
I have help. I have a wonderful team. I'm just going to do the best that I can. That's all I can do.
This time she's accused of conspiring to murder her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, who was found shot to death at Lori's home in 2019. It's said that anyone who represents himself has a fool for a client. So is Lori Daybell a fool? Is she showboating? Is this all just a game to her? Or is it simply because she has nothing left to lose?
It's going to be fun for me.
It's difficult to represent yourself because there's so much to it. Even lawyers, when they are in this situation, get someone else to represent them.
Lori Daybell and her current husband, Chad Daybell, were both convicted in the deaths of her 2 children. Chad Daybell, a self-proclaimed doomsday prophet, was sentenced to death. Lori Daybell got life.
You were convicted of killing your kids.
Wrongly convicted.
You believe wrongly convicted?
Absolutely, 100%.
Rex Connor is Daybell's uncle.
What are your thoughts on this trial coming up and the fact that she's representing herself?
I wish she would have just pleaded guilty and spared all of us from going through this. This is a sideshow.
It's a sideshow, and that's exactly why it's getting spotlighted on the Troll Patrol tonight, because it's a fucking sideshow. This is the interview. I think it's the same interview we were just seeing clips from. She did a sit-down with True Crime Arizona. Daybell killed her kids, her husband. She got taken in by a doomsday cult prophet, and she's already been convicted. She's getting ready to face this is the trial for killing her husband, and she's got nothing to lose. So she's okay. I'll bring everybody back. We've watched enough of that, I guess. I'll watch it later. Yeah, that's the only thing that could have been like, because it's an exclusive interview. Warlord, what are you doing up this late? Clinically, am I back over there on YouTube? Is everything good? Are we cool? Because usually it comes right back after whatever copyright material is gone, and I just have to go like clip it out afterwards. Like I didn't get a strike or anything, so it's neat. Not back yet. Oh, okay, cool. You might have to refresh it or something. All right, neat. Hopefully it's the same stream and everything. Fucking YouTube sucks. That's what it was. It was that true crime. They've got their stuff like set to be exclusive, and I can kind of understand. Not back, still gone. Huh. Here, I'll stop it and start it again. Well, it's not, as I said, it's not going to be a strike against me or anything. Yeah, it takes it a second. It won't be a strike, but like it'll take my shit down. I've done it again. Ckers are welcome in. I was really fucking enthralled by what she was saying. I'm so into it. They can't copyright the court proceedings, though. But now you may be asking the question, she is representing herself. How is she being restrained while she's in court?
That Lori Vallow Daybell, a convicted murderer, isn't wearing handcuffs in the courtroom.
But she is wearing a hidden restraint underneath her clothing, and it packs a punch. I got an up-close look at it today. All right, I'm going to try this.
All right.
You ready?
You ready?
Yep. So what exactly am I doing here? You may wonder how convicted murderer Lori Vallow Daybell is able to walk around inside a courtroom unrestrained. And the answer is this: stun technology hidden under her clothes. It looks like a bulletproof vest, but it's not.
It's not. It actually has 4 points of contact. It's pretty much at the top and in the back.
Let's talk specifically about Lori Vallow Daybell. So she's wearing something like this. What is this?
That's correct. So this is what we call, many people know it as a rack belt, a stun belt. Very clear, this isn't like a taser. It does not work like a taser. It's pretty much pain compliance. So what happens is you have the prongs just like you did in the vest. Okay. So this makes contact with your body. You can feel it right there, right? So and in this case, what we
fucking thumb indeed
is we put it around the waist. So pretty much like this.
And this is just designed to give you a lot of pain, correct?
This is pain compliance. Like I said, unlike a taser, it doesn't affect the muscles.
The sheriff's office asked me if I wanted to know what the belt felt like. An actual stun would last 8 seconds, so I didn't put the belt all the way around me and fasten it. Still.
Pussy.
Ah, jeez Louise. Woo! I get it.
I get it.
Wasn't that bad? It was terrible. Can you imagine 8 seconds?
No. Yeah, I can't imagine 8 seconds of that. Like I said, I had that for just a second or even less, and it still hurts. That was like 4 hours ago for sure. So a detention officer in the courtroom has a remote for that device that works 500 feet away, so they can
I probably would have done it.
From more than a football field away. So she's wearing that every day in the courtroom.
Yeah, so she's not going anywhere if she tried to. Yeah.
No.
All right, that's interesting. How are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You're fine?
It's okay. Yeah, I took one for the team for sure.
You did.
Want to thank Joaquin Enrique.
Not really.
Who helped me out with that. He actually took it today too. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks, MCSO.
We'll get that disc in your back relocated.
Yeah.
Popped out, yeah.
All right.
Well, you can watch the entire trial every day exclusively on 12+. So
be amazed I'm not, honestly.
Watch for free. Every night at 8:30, we'll also have daily recap and analysis of what happens inside the courtroom.
You know, honestly, I might now that I know. I don't have anything to do the next couple of days. Would you guys like to come on and watch the Lori Vallow Daybell trial? Oh my God! Remember 1 year on my anniversary show, we got the verdict of Derek Chauvin. Like as I was coming on for the anniversary show. We are less than 2 weeks away. Could we possibly get Lori Vallow Daybell verdict? it's gonna be like the jury goes out, they come back like guilty, right? Like it's not gonna be a deliberation. And I don't know how long this is gonna take. Usually trials like a murder trial would at least be two weeks, if not longer. But, you know, what's this look like? Well, we're going to find out what it looks like. This was her opening remarks from yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have been charged with a crime, a serious crime. And the only question here is, did I commit this crime? Conspiracy.
Yes.
Conspiracy is an agreement between two or more people to commit a crime. Okay, Susie. Okay. There has to be an agreement. There has to be a plan. The evidence in this case will show that Charles Vallow and I got married in February 2006. It will show that it was my fourth marriage and Charles' third marriage. At that time, we each had 2 children. I had Colby, who was 9, and Tylee, who was 3. Charles had Cole, who was also 9, and Zach, who was 7. The evidence will show that our family moved from Austin, Texas to Chandler, Arizona in 2009. The evidence will show that Charles and I adopted our great-nephew, JJ, who was born in 2012. It will also show that Charles and I were married for over 13 years and were raising 5 children. The evidence will show that I was a licensed cosmetologist and worked as a hairstylist for 20 years while we lived in Austin, Texas.
Oh, totally believe that.
The evidence will show that Charles was a licensed life insurance salesman and worked as an independent contractor, selling life insurance policies and annuities, and owned his own business. The evidence will show that Charles and I purchased life insurance.
Oh, it's usually the 5th
in our
marriage.
marriage, and Charles had them issued to the maximum amount possible.
Her husband and her 2 kids.
The evidence will show that Charles was 17 years older than me, and that because of Charles' age and an issue that
Charles is the
blood pressure, the maximum
man
amount of life
she's accused of killing.
approved for Charles was
Or conspiracy to kill.
the maximum amount of life insurance that I could be approved for because of my age and my health was $2 million. The evidence will show that throughout our 13-year marriage that we always had life insurance policies. When a 10-year policy lapsed, Charles would shop for another company who would approve us for the maximum amount of life insurance. The evidence will show that this was Charles' job. This is what he did. I helped him in this business, and this is what he did. The evidence will show that in 2016, Charles repurchased a new $2 million life insurance policy on me, and he was the sole beneficiary. The evidence will show that Charles and I had a happy marriage for 13 years. That he was, in fact, a baseball player, and that he played high school, college ball, and AAA ball, and that he was, in fact, a left-handed pitcher, a southpaw, they call him, but he was a right-handed batter, as could be attested to by anybody who knew Charles well and his high school baseball.
Rainbow vacuums.
Davis. The evidence will show that Tylee was, and in 2014, our family moved from Chandler, Arizona to Kauai, Hawaii. We lived there for 3.5 years and returned to Chandler in 2017. The evidence will show that Tylee was 3 years old when Charles and I got married, and that when she became a teenager, the relationship between Tylee and her stepfather, Charles, became so difficult that Tylee and Charles had to seek a therapist, a family therapist, to stop them from fighting. The evidence will show that together, Charles and Tylee met with this therapist after we moved back to the mainland in 2000.
So you wouldn't be joining me if I watched the whole trial.
Evidence will show that in April of 2018, Tylee's biological father passed away from a heart attack. And at that time, Charles called Social Security and made an appointment at the Social Security
I'm
office.
going to object to hearsay.
Sustain.
It will show that we did get Social Security for Tylee for her deceased father until she was 18 years old, and she was 15 years old at the time. The evidence will show that Charles and Tylee's fighting increased greatly in January of 2019 when Charles and I temporarily separated. The evidence will show that Several people witnessed these terrible arguments between Tylee and Charles that increased to physical in 2019. Charles and Tylee had major increasing arguments, two in February of 2019, one of March in 2019, which was captured on video, one in May of 2019, one in June of 2019.
So she's going to blame her dead ex-husband.
In July 2000.
Her dead husband that killed the guy. Yeah, I think so,
The
Flash.
evidence will show that in March of 2019, Charles pulled JJ out of his special school and moved him to Houston, Texas, while we were temporarily separated. Tylee and I then joined Charles and JJ in Texas in April 2019 to
JJ, we were just talking about dynamite.
will show that JJ was diagnosed with severe autism when he was 3 years old while we lived in Hawaii. The evidence will show that for 2 years, JJ was attending a school in Gilbert, Arizona, a special school for children with autism. It's called Lauren's Life Academy. The evidence will show that in June of 2019, in JJ's best interest, Tylee, JJ, and I moved back to Chandler, Arizona to re-enroll JJ back in Lauren's Life Academy since he had a difficult time with the Houston, Texas schools with no services for his autism. The evidence will show that Charles and I agreed it was in JJ's best interest to be
Hope that wasn't the belt.
services were available to him, so Charles and I rented a house here in Chandler. On the day in question, July 11th, 2019, Charles and I were renting two houses, one in Houston, Texas, where he mainly resided, and one in Chandler, Arizona, where I resided with our two minor children, Tylee and JJ. By this time, our three older boys, Colby, Cole, and Zach, were adults and not living at home any longer. The evidence will show that during the months of June and July, that my husband, Charles Vallow, began to send me threatening text messages. These messages
Yep, there we go.
summer, and that worried her. The evidence will show that Charles insisted on flying into Phoenix on July 10th, as we've heard from the state. The evidence will show that I advised Charles that he could not stay with us at the Chandler house because he could not get along with Tylee, and I did not want them to get into another fight like they had 3 weeks prior.
Huh.
The evidence will show that it was ultimately decided between Charles and I on text messages that he would stay in a hotel because he traveled for business all the time and stayed in hotels all the time, and that I would book it for him since I worked for him and booked all of his travel. The evidence will show that Charles did, in fact, fly into Phoenix on Wednesday.
What in the fuck is that?
In the hotel that I booked for him. The evidence will show that Charles paid to fly my brother Adam Cox into Phoenix, Kansas on the same day, Wednesday, July 10th, 2019. The evidence will show that Charles planned to come to our Chandler home and pick up JJ and drive him to school on Thursday morning, July 11th, 2019. The evidence will also show you that Lauren's Life Academy opens its gates at 8:25 a.m. in the morning. And the evidence will show that Charles showed up at our Chandler residence around 7:30 in the rental car I booked for him on the morning of Thursday, July 11th, 2019. The evidence will show that Charles began texting with my brother Adam Cox before he entered our residence. And that Charles and Adam were discussing in their text communications that my other brother, Alex Cox, was at the residence. The evidence will show that on the morning of July 11th, that Tylee was asleep in her room and my brother Alex was asleep in the guest room. The evidence will show that when Charles entered the house, only JJ and I were awake and present. The evidence will show that after we put JJ in the rental car,
evidence will show
that Charles came back into the residence to receive his phone, leaving JJ in the front seat of the rental car with the engine running. He was 7 years old.
Is that something they say a lot on Law and Order or something?
The evidence will show that Charles began to
Or was she coached to say that?
to hand him his phone. The evidence will show that Charles screaming woke up Tylee and Alex. The evidence will show that Tylee came out of her room with a bat to protect me, her mother, from her stepfather, Charles Vallow. The evidence will show that Tylee and Charles fought over the bat, and that after a struggle over the bat, Tylee fell onto the ground, and Charles lifted up the bat to hit Tylee with the bat. The evidence will show that Alex then intervened to protect Tylee from being hit with the bat. He did not have a gun. He was not wearing a shirt. He was pulling up his jeans because he just woke up and came into the room where he heard the screaming. The evidence will show that Alex and Charles got into a physical struggle for the bat and fell onto the ground. The evidence will show that Tylee, who was on the ground, was lifted up by me and sent outside to get away from the struggle and to protect JJ, who was still in the running car, in the rental car in the driveway. The evidence will show that after this struggle on the ground between Charles and Alex, that Charles prevailed with the bat and began to come towards me with the bat as I ran away from him into the kitchen.
He was a baseball
Show
player.
that at some point while I was running away from Charles, who was chasing me with the bat, that Alex apparently retrieved his gun. The evidence will show that I ran outside to the children and that Alex shot Charles in self-defense. The evidence will show that Tylee and I had both run outside without shoes. The evidence will show that JJ was still in the front seat of the rental car with the engine running and struggling to get out of the car. Tylee was trying to keep him in. The evidence will show that Tylee and I got into the rental car with JJ and drove away. The evidence will show you that I drove the children away from the residence towards JJ's school. Can I grab a tissue?
Yes.
I'm enthralled. I wish she'd stop saying the evidence will show, but other than that. But she could have been coached to say that. I don't know, like a struggle like this could occur.
That I drove the children through the Burger King drive-thru that Charles had promised JJ. The evidence will show that we
And then they went and killed the kids.
JJ's school. And that the gate was not yet open at JJ's school. So we drove a block west of the school to a Walgreens where I ran in to purchase flip-flops for Tylee and myself so that we could walk JJ into school on the hot pavement. The evidence will show that Tylee and I returned directly to our residence where we met with police in our driveway. The evidence will show that we were spoken to by the Chandler police officers. And the evidence will show that Tylee and I were told by the Chandler police detectives that Charles had passed away. The evidence will show that we were put into a police van and driven to the Chandler Police Department.
See, at some point in time, she goes missing with the
The evidence
kids.
will show that Alex was
And then she shows back up without the kids.
to the Chandler Police Department. And that we were all three separated into interrogation rooms and we were each interviewed. The evidence will show that next, Tylee and I were brought back together into a room at the Chandler Police Department and were introduced to a victim's advocate who was very kind to us. The evidence will show that after speaking to the victim's advocate, that Tylee, Alex, and myself were put back into the police van and driven back to our residence.
Yes, clinically.
We were directed by the
In
Chandler
Idaho.
to take the rental car and return later to the residence after we picked up JJ from school.
That's where she was tried for murder of the
The
kids.
evidence will show that we did as instructed by the Chandler detectives. The evidence will show that we drove to Alex's residence where we attended to the wound on the back of his head. The evidence will show that Alex was then contacted by the Chandler detectives to return to the residence so that Alex could walk them through the events that occurred with the detectives at the residence. The evidence will show that Alex, Tylee, and I did return to the residence as instructed. And the evidence
Yes.
will show that Alex entered into the residence.
And then Alex is the cult leader.
Tylee and I were met by Detective England in the front yard. The evidence will show that at the time, Detective England asked Tylee and myself if we had Charles' cell phone. Tylee retrieved Charles' cell phone from the rental car and gave it to Detective Inkland at 3:11 p.m. on July 11th, 2019. And at that time, Charles' phone was placed in the custody of Chandler Police detectives. The evidence will show that Detective Inkland asked us if we knew the passcode.
Well, I mean, I've been following the case for years.
To give to Detective Inkland.
Because, like, when all this shit was going on, when she was missing with the kids and stuff, that was like my first year doing the troll patrol.
While Alex remained at the residence with the detectives. The evidence will show that by the time Tylee, JJ, and I returned to the residence, that all police, EMS, CSI, and detectives were gone from the residence and only...
I don't remember what the name of the cult was, though. Hold on.
The evidence will show that the next day, I contacted Chandler Police to inform them that Charles' belongings were still at the hotel. I asked the detective if I should go get them, and I was told that they would take care of it. The evidence will show that I asked the detectives, what should we do?
Oh, Chad Daybell is his name. Who's Alex?
Directed us that they would contact
Now I'm confused.
weeks after their supervisor passed off their reports, and Alex could go to the police station and retrieve his gun. The evidence will show that the last thing I heard from Chandler Police Department until June of 2021, 2 years later, when I received a grand jury indictment from them for this alleged crime. The evidence will show that Chandler Police treated this incident as self-defense.
I'm going to object to that.
The objection sustained. The jury should disregard that last statement.
The evidence will show you that my brother, Alex Cox, passed away on December 12th, 2019, almost exactly 5 months to the day after Charles, my husband, passed away. The evidence will show that Alex passed away from a blood clot in his lung.
Objection. Again.
I'll sustain the objection. It's not relevant for this matter.
The evidence will show you
Alex Cox is her brother.
I'm the only person being charged with this crime.
I'm going to object to the relevance of that.
Sustained.
As the state has mentioned, they're alleging that insurance money was my motive. Social Security was my motive. Spouses having insurance policies is not a crime. Collecting Social Security is not a crime. Self-defense is not a crime. A family tragedy is not a crime. It's a tragedy. Thank you.
Yeah, like now how was her brother mixed up in all of this? Her other husband before this died in mysterious circumstances. They have been apparently investigated but couldn't find anything dealing with foul play. God, this is so much. Piecing together exactly what the fuck happened. Apparently, like, they had a happy marriage until Charles found out that she was cheating on him with the cult leader, and he messaged the cult leader's wife, and she deleted the messages and blocked him. And he was going to try to go and meet with her in person. And then this was just a couple of days before the death. So, goddamn. This trial is ongoing this week, so we'll continue to cover it. Stick around, Twitch people. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do something else. We'll do something for a little bit. An hour or so. Comedy, maybe? You want to do some comedy? They were Mormons. They were regular old Mormons. And then they became like doomsday Mormons. I can't make it full screen. Let's meditate. Maybe. They used to do because I mentioned Philosophy Club or something the other night. Might have been last night. They used to do what, Dharma Club afterwards, or Dhamma Club, and it was like meditation, and all the same people did both clubs except me. I'm like, yeah, nah, I just came to argue. I left and went and played video games. I love there's a little like child door to keep him safe in his little living room so he don't tear up the fucking kitchen and shit. Oh, he's climbing. Boy, is he a chonk. Definitely not a streaming activity, I would assume. But I don't know. I used to edit videos for this like school of Ayurveda or some shit. They would totally fucking do meditations on 30, 40, 50 minute, like maybe even more, like couple of hour videos that people were like had to pay to watch. It was a fucking scam. And you could do meditation with them and shit. Aw, I'll get you an albino raccoon later. We'll do one later this week for the animal video. YouTube people, podcast people, Facebook, Kick, all that good shit. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back.